Hello guys and welcome back to my match review of Germany 1, Spain 1. A really good game, a really tough battle. We mentioned in the preview of the game, this was going to be a tough first game back for both sides, and it was a game actually that keeps everything completely open now. It was a really good first game back. I did enjoy watching it, a tough battle out there. There's quite a bit to discuss, so let's get going. And just before we delve right into the action, the lineups, all the talking points, let's actually just take a look at the other result from our group. We mentioned in the preview that we're in a group with ourselves, of course, Germany, Ukraine, and also Switzerland. And the game between Ukraine and Switzerland was in Ukraine, and Ukraine got a 2-1 victory there. And I probably didn't give Ukraine enough respect in the preview of this game. I said if we want to be topping this group, we need to be beating Ukraine both home and away. And well, maybe that's going to be a little bit harder than I first thought, because I just remembered, Ukraine have been on some really good form. They've actually put together quite a good team. And this game, and this group right now, guys, is looking very tough indeed. It really is a lot tougher than I initially thought. When I first saw our group, I thought, yeah, that's going to be challenging. But right now, guys, we could have some really hard games coming up. Right now, Ukraine are, of course, sitting top of the group. They've won their game, and we are going to be facing them actually on Sunday evening. So if we win that, we will probably be going top of the group, and that will be really important for us. But let's begin with the lineups for the Germany-Spain game. Let's start with the Germany team. They actually set up in a back three, which I found quite interesting. They brought Rudiger into the team. They made a few changes from what we expected, to be honest, and that did catch me off guard a little bit. Trapp was in goal, Emre Can was in a more centre-back position, they had Kehrer at right wing-back, who was often not very present there, and Torres had a lot of joy down the left-hand side. And up front they had quite a pacey little duo of Sane and Werner, which actually caused us issues all evening. But it was an interesting Germany team. I wasn't quite expecting it, and they actually gave up quite a lot of possession, but that did suit them in a way. They were good without the ball. They gave us a lot of the ball. We were dominating. We played a good game, Spain, but when we gave away that ball, they hit us, and they hit us hard. When you've got Sane and Werner up there, wow, they were getting in behind that offence. They could have scored more than one goal, and we're probably lucky that they didn't, if I'm being honest. But it was quite an even game. Moving on to the Spain lineup, I think a lot of people were quite upset with it initially. De Gea starting in goal. I think a lot of us wanted to see Unai Simon, but hey, De Gea was absolutely magnificent. We'll say when he's been brilliant, and we'll say when he's been poor. And last night he was absolutely wonderful in goal, so well done to him, because that was an important couple of saves there from him. And at the end of the day, he does really set us towards a very important point, if I'm being honest with you. And in defence, he went for Carvajal at right back, which was interesting again. And he went for Gaia at left back, which is actually quite a big call, instead of Reguilon, who just can't seem to get a spot now. But as we later saw, Gaia very important in the latter stages. In midfield, he went for the midfield three we wanted and predicted: Busquets, Fabian, and Diago. Busquets had a poor game, though. He really did, and that upset me. It's a little bit saddening seeing Busquets' decline, and I don't know if when there's less importance on the single pivot, he kind of gets eaten out of the game, and that was a little bit worrying to see. Diago was coming deep and receiving the ball, almost taking out the sort of zone that Busquets like, and he found himself quite isolated, quite alone, quite lost in the game, and he came off quite early for Marino, who had much more of an impact on the match. And up front, we went for an interesting try then. You knew that Luis Enrique couldn't go with just a normal lineup. He went for Ferran Torres on the left. Rodrigo Moreno, as expected, got the nod up front. Again, he was very odd indeed. And on the right, he played Jesus Navas, who what I think he realised was definitely a mistake, because he brought him off at half-time for the brilliant Ansu Fati. But Navas on the right-hand side in 2020, really? 34 years old, has he been playing right back for a couple of seasons now? I just found that interesting. Probably the wrong decision, and he did in the end have to change that. But let's get on to the match action, because both sides actually had quite a solid first half. Germany made quite a few chances. Werner was getting in. Sane was getting in. De Gea made a couple of good saves in there. Some really important saves. The standout one is probably that one from Sane. But Spain, we had little periods in the game here and there. The first half was a good watch. The first game back for a lot of these players. International break. Always an interesting time of the year. So, I thought it was a good game. It was nice and competitive. Spain had a few chances. Rodrigo up front for me is someone who we need to talk about. I just worry whether he's the man to really lead us forward. I like him because he does get in good positions. He often pops up for important moments. And as you saw there in the 96th minute, he gets a really important header back across goal to Jose Luis Gaia, and he taps it into the net. But just through that first half, guys, when you want your striker to be really, commanding, strong in the box, getting his shots away, being decisive, being all sharp in the area, and he just didn't have that. It's early on, and I think it's when he goes around the goalkeeper, he's got an open net, and he's just hesitating, and in the end he lets Trapp come back and slide tackle him, and For me, that's just frustrating, and that was the case for a lot of the first half. But De Gea, like I said, made some really good saves. Werner and Sane were causing us issues all night long. And for me, it was a relief when they went off, to be honest. I think that completely changed the game. Werner was still doing work after Sane came off, but, once Werner went off as well around the 90th minute, Germany just didn't have the ball since then, and for all of added time, we were all over them. So that was obviously a big boost for us. Germany, they defended really, really well. They had a lot of defenders on the pitch. Lowe had obviously planned that. He didn't want to let Spain in. And I think by the end of the game, they had about 7 or 8 defenders on the field. Koch came on, the new Leeds player. You had Ginter, who also came on. So Germany, they set up a block, it's fair to say. It did work, and obviously when you've got Werner and Sane up front, you can afford to play that sort of counter-attacking football. But for Spain, I thought Thiago was absolutely wonderful. He's the sort of player who I love watching. I thought Ferran Torres was really excellent on his full Spain debut. Well, I say full, it was his first app, simple as that. I thought he was brilliant from the left-hand side and also from the right-hand side in the second half. And then you go into the second half, guys, and Ansu Fati came on, and I thought we looked a lot better. I really did. We went 1-0 down quite early. It was a good ball over the top, over to Gersons. He cuts it back, and it's ice cold from Timo Werner. The Chelsea man, brilliant feet, great little slotted finish. And Werner's that sort of player. He can hurt your defence. That's absolutely for sure. And that's exactly what he did. It's a great goal from Germany. A little bit of a kick in the teeth. Really frustrating for me. It's just, I didn't think we deserved to maybe go 1-0 down there. They had some good chances, of course, Germany, but it was them who hit back first. But Spain, we looked decent. Ansu Fati was on the pitch, again creating issues for the Germany defence. We had a few chances here and there. Fabian probably could have scored. Mikel Merino came on for Busquets, and the midfield was really, really good, really mobile, very strong. And I liked that. I liked the way we looked in midfield. I thought we had a really sharp performance, and we were generating chances. And I just want to say in general from Spain, it was much better. I spoke about before the game how this is a sort of lineup I want to be seeing. These sorts of players are the players I want to be seeing in Euro 2021. And now we're seeing them play together. It is actually quite bright. I'm always trying to be reserved with Spain. I've been hyped in the past and they've let me down in recent years for sure. But it's looking bright. We're just going to take it one game at a time. Like I said, we've got a really tough group. But overall on the night, I was super impressed. We looked really, really diligent in there. The chances kept on coming. There was no, just passing sideways and here we go. Yeah, no chance, no chance. A lot of shots were going off. A lot of balls into the box. A lot of mobility. Luis Enrique clearly wants us to keep generating chances. He doesn't want to just watch boring football for 90 minutes, which has been the case for the past couple of years. Against a tough Germany side, we were really, really good. And it's all about keeping that level, because I've seen Spain be really bright, really inventive. We saw that under Roberto Moreno. And then the next game, what we've done is just gone back to passing sideways. That can't happen. We've got Ukraine on Sunday evening, and I want to see us keep the level, keep it high. And against Ukraine, guys, still a very good side, but they're not going to be defending as well as Germany did. And I just hope that we can get more and more chances, and hopefully maybe with some different personnel, more and more goals. If Ansel's starting, if Adama comes back into the team for a few minutes, if Gerard Moreno's on the pitch, maybe instead of Rodrigo Moreno, maybe we'll have the ball in the back of the net a few more times. That could be interesting. And let's move on now, guys, to the last couple of minutes of the game, because it was really, really dramatic. And like I said, I was impressed with the game as a whole, but I was annoyed because I did see this as a bit of an opportunity loss. You look at the Germany side, so many big players missing, and I mentioned it in the preview of the game, if we lose this game, it's kind of like the group is out of our hands now, and we got back a vital point. It's very late on. Ansu Fati scored a great header, but it was Ramos who fouled someone apparently, so I would probably agree with the decision. Ansu Fati, though, what an absolute killer in the box. He's so young and so intelligent and just so good, it's unbelievable. But it was José Luis Gaya who was the man who got the equaliser, the left back. He was in the box, as was everyone really at this late stage. It's about the 95th minute of the game now. We'd gone into overtime because of the Ginter injury. It's Ferran Torres who whips in across. Rodrigo heads it back across goal, and Gaya's there. What looks to be standing in a completely offside position, he's actually onside because Gersons is the man who goes to slide the Ferran Torres cross and then plays everyone onside, of course, because he's behind absolutely everyone. That means it's a goal for Spain. Completely legal in my opinion, and it's Gaya. Big scenes in the last couple of minutes. We had that against Sweden about a year ago now, and we've got more late drama in the national team. It's always nice to see that, a nice couple of moments there, big celebrations. You don't often get that really outside of the big tournaments, but like we said a bit in the preview, the Nations League, it does mean a bit more competitiveness in the matches, and it is Spain who get a vital point here. Overall, I was really impressed with Spain. That's what I'll say. I thought we looked good. I'm happy with the personnel we've got in the squad. It was a really tough game against Germany, and I just didn't want us to lose it. I thought we deserved a little bit more, and overall, I'm very content with the point. We can move on now. If we beat Ukraine, we'll put ourselves in a great position, and I am confident. I've seen how good Ukraine are. You know, I've definitely recalibrated myself on that position. They're definitely not as poor of a side as I probably thought, but hey, I still back us to go and beat them. If Luis Enrique learned from maybe a few of his lineup mistakes from the Germany game, I think we can go in there with a really strong team. I'm looking at the likes of Merino to be starting. I'm looking at the likes of Ansu Fati to be starting, and then we can certainly hurt Sweden. Not Sweden, sorry, Ukraine. So that'll be really, really fun. And that's all I can say, guys. You know, on to Ukraine now, because this group is super tough. We've got loads of really good tests coming up, and I'm happy with that. I'm excited. You know, we've got loads of hard fixtures, and that's good. A lot of football this year, a lot of football. So players are gonna be tired. That's for sure. They've got to get their fitness up. It was a really good first game back, and on to Ukraine now. We really have to win, in my opinion, just to keep going in the group. Draw away to Germany, nothing bad about that, that's absolutely fine. But now it's time to beat Ukraine. It's going to be at home. It's at the Real Madrid Castilla team ground. You know, the ground that Real Madrid were playing all of their remaining La Liga games for last season at. It's going to be at that ground, the Alfredo Di Stefano Stadium, I believe. And I'll be bringing you the preview for that game, guys, tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. There's more international football coming up. It doesn't end here. And I'll see you guys then. Really good game against Germany last night. I don't know if any of you guys were watching it, but for a neutral, it would have been a good watch. Overall, super impressed with Spain. Tough first game back and an important last-minute point there. I'll see you all guys tomorrow for the preview for the Ukraine game. And until then, enjoy yourselves. Drop a like. Let me know your thoughts. And I'll see you guys then. Goodbye.